In today's video, you are going to find out how to do every single assistance mission for the Dravec. You will find out what tanks I personally did it in and which one I do recommend. And in today's video, you are going to start hating me. Why? Because these 4 vehicles up here are the vehicles with, in 90% of the cases, you can do the missions in. And I'm aware that 2 of these are RDs. And these RDs do be game changers. So if you are fine with playing a little bit of RD, many of these missions are very simple. And I know it might really make you angry to know that, but trust me guys, what is important? Your mental or your pride? And sometimes I would say your mental is a little bit more important than your pride, and that's something coming from me. So don't forget, you have to do all of these missions twice, and without further ado, let's move on to the first mission. While I already just said, oi, these 4 vehicles are the best ones. Well, for this mission in particular, you don't want to take most of these. Maybe the EBR 105. But other than that, I would say maybe take something a little bit lower tiered. Why exactly? You need to destroy 1 enemy RD and you need to also do 1000 assistance damage. That means spotting them, destroying them, their tracks, and they get damage, or stunning them, So yes, you can do it in an RD, but killing an RD with an RD feels incredible, not only underwhelming, in the sense of that it is very luck based, it is also insanely RNG based, additional to the luck to actually get the RD kill because of distance, blah 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 blah, but also hitting them. So I can recommend to you, on one hand, try to play a little bit lower tiers, like tier 7. You should be able to get 1000 spot damage. There are more RDs around, and you might be able to abuse newerish players or players which you have more knowledge over to kill the RDs. It was an annoying mission. I would say an EBR 105 is also great. You can get a lot of spot damage, and then at the end of the game you can Unga Bunga Yali, YOLO and artillery, press the W key and kill it with the HE. I did it in the AMX 1357 and the LT 432, but again, these 2 are premium vehicles, so I think the EBR 105 is definitely good for this mission. The Manticore can work, although I believe something like the EBR Hotchkiss, or rather the Lynx, might actually be a lot better for these missions as well. The good thing is, if you have the 4 vehicles at the beginning of the video, you will most likely have the Lynx, EBR 90, and so on. In Number 2, you need to either spot 3 enemy vehicles while remaining unspotted. Yes, you are never allowed to get spotted, which is annoying, or stun an enemy 10 times. And this is before I was enlightened. Let's put it that way. I first did the spots several times with the Manticore, like I had to try it like a couple of times because I got spotted because somebody YOLO'd me, maybe I was playing too aggressive, etc, and the mission was done. And the problem is, you don't have a chance to recover, you know? It just is, oh, GG, go next, basically, which is also very annoying. With RD, on the other hand, it feels like you can always do it on every single map. You know, stunning 10 enemies shouldn't be too big. And that was where I played the 261. But again, I wasn't enlightened yet. I was like, oh yeah, 261, you can splash people, maybe 2 people at the same time, especially on fjords, you know, where they're all cuddling together. Should be totally a-okay, no biggie. You have fast reload time, you're fast as an RD, you're accurate, totally fine. And it worked. I can recommend it. It is fine. So yeah, let's move over to number 3. In number 3, you need to either immobilize 4 enemy vehicles or stun enemies for 30 seconds in total. Now, immobilizing them was how I did it, like in the Windhund. I took the EBR 75 FL10 and went for the tracking shots, because you have HE, you have the double shot potential, so it was okay. You can do the same thing with the Lynx, for example, or the EBR 90, or the EBR Hotchkiss. That will work as well. It needs to be 4 different enemies as far as I'm aware, but it works. But then it was also like, hey, 130 second stun, that is not a big problem. That is chill, that is fine. So I took the 261 to make it very simple. But it was at that point, bot from the block came into the stream and was like, Raging, check your Discord. Take this. And he showed me the FV3805 in stock configuration. Because then you have 17 seconds reload time for 12 seconds stun with very good accuracy. Again, It's stock. S-T-O-C-K. You don't need to get anything else in this art. You can play it right out of the factory. And this is what we are going to use fairly frequently moving forward. Like for example in mission number 4. You need to either kill 2 enemy tanks within 100 meters, which is yucky, like what the hell is this, or stun enemy mediums, tanks or TDs for 6 seconds. So, what do? We take the artillery with 17-second reload time and just click a TD or a medium tank 6 times. That's a little bit more than a minute, less than 2 minutes of clicking, and you're done. You don't need to survive, you don't need to do anything, you just need to hit them 6 times. It's that easy. And that is why I also did in the budget RD. I was like, hey, should be fine as well. It's 2 clips. That's something you will definitely survive, except if the enemy EBR is unga bunga YOLOing you. So it is what it is. But yeah, FV RD, budget RD, 261 RD works. Works like a charm for that mission. And again, that was the enlightenment for me. In number 5, you need to assist your team in killing 4 enemy vehicles by spotting, immobilizing or stunning them. That's a little bit of an annoying mission. Like maybe if you are an advanced RD player, you might be able to snipe, in quotation mark, the assist on an enemy. But if you're not advanced and you're still an entry level RD player like I am, I was like, okay, you know what? Let's do it in Manticore and even 90. That's the 2 tanks I did it with. And the thing is about these 2 tanks, yes, it is very team dependent. And this is where I really highly recommend to you to play with friends or with homies. Find a Discord, for example mine, where we now have World of Tanks platoon groups where you can ping each other and ask like, oi, I need some TDs, who wants to help me with? And see if someone is active on that one. But the thing is, yes, these are annoying missions because you're dependent on your team. That is why very often I'm basically saying just play RD. Because in the just play RD scenarios, you're not really team dependent. You're matchmaker dependent, don't get me wrong. And obviously need a team to spot for you, don't get me wrong. But it's much more easier to do than just hoping, praying your team knows how to shoot and have hands, you know? So yeah, this mission, although might still be easier with scouts, again, Manticore, EBR 105 definitely works. And just take the tank you feel very comfortable in when it comes to light tank gameplay. In number 6, you need to do 3500 assist damage while being unspotted. Or you need to stun enemy medium tanks or tank destroyers for 130 seconds. So, I first did it in the Manticore. I was like, oh yeah, was slightly annoying, was slightly, let's put it that way, tickly, but it worked out. Was Manti on Westfield. But then again, 130 seconds stunning an enemy TD or a medium tank. Could have played the 261. Or, how I did it with, I played the FVRD again, and it was dead simple, first try. It's that easy. In number 7, we sadly cannot cheese it with RD because RD tends to not get a lot of EXP. So, be the top player in both teams by experience earned and survive the battle. That is a mission you can only do if you win, because if you win you get a higher XP multiplier, which is needed because you need to be top player in both teams. So, what do I recommend to you to use? Take tier 7s. That is the most important thing to do. And go for damage. Like the more damage you do, the better. A good blend is amazing, but more damage is better. Scouts really scale very well when it comes to doing damage for their XP gain. I personally did it in the AMX 1357 and the Borkenkäfer, so I did it in a tier 7 tank, but I also did it in a tier 11 tank. But both of these tanks are really potent when it comes to doing damage. And so other tanks, AMX 1375, great tank. Skoda T17, great tank. Just keep in mind, if you're in tier 8 game, it's going to be disgusting because the enemy has CVS if they have scouts around. So if you have an EBR 75 FL10, good on you, go get him, champ. It is very good to do it in that tank. It's a damage dealing tank. Lynx, for example, really good. EBR 90 works well as well. Batchat 12T could also work. Take a tank you feel comfortable in and being able to do damage. In number 8, we have a furthering of number 5, where you needed to assist in your team 6 kills. Yeah, that's annoying. It's very, very annoying. It gets even worse with a Blackrock, where you have to do 8 enemies. It's just getting lucky. It is what it is. Like, for me, I did it once in the Borkenkäfer and once in the Manticore. So these two definitely work. I definitely highly recommend Manticore. EBR 105 are amazing tanks for these missions. I would also say things like the even 90, if you have it, is great for that one, but that's a premium. So pick your poison. Again, pick your poison, but spread it with friends in a platoon which have hands and know what to shoot at. Number 9 is a very annoying mission. Why exactly? You need to kill 2 enemy SPGs or light tanks, or cause 1000 damage to unspotted enemies. Now obviously you could try to go for the 1000 blind shot damage, but that is insanely hard. I actually did it in the Borkenkäfer, but it was very, very lucky. The thing is, I would go for the 2 SPGs or light tank kills. Here, again, try to focus on lower tiers. In lower tiers, in tier 7, a lot more light tanks are playing, and a lot more light tanks are not the best players around. And there's also a little bit more RD players around, because there's still, yeah, I want to try grinding out RD, so there are a lot more RDs around as well, usually. But then you might say, oh, this mission pisses me off, I never get enough RD, Play in platoon. You can get, technically, 3 vehicles in the enemy team you can kill by just playing in platoon. You can play in platoon, somebody is playing a scout, somebody is playing a wheelie boy, like the EBR 75, ABR Hotchkiss, and one is playing RD. And you will have that mirrored in the enemy team. And that way you have basically 1 additional chance of getting a kill. And personally, I did it in the AMX 1357s, both 3057 and 3057F, but these are not really available anymore. So maybe be the EBR Hotchkiss and maybe use the EBR 75, AMX 1375. These are really, really good vehicles for that mission. Skoda T17 is also a really good tank for that mission. But again, in platoon, you can increase your chances of actually getting that. The blind shot mission is for RD, but I feel like this is also very hard and probably also very inconsistent. In number 10, you need to earn the Mastery Badge First Class. So here I can recommend to you to go, for example, on tomato.gg, go for mastery requirements, probably link in the description below, choose tier 7 to tier 11 light tanks and sort them by least amount of XP needed for an ace tanker, or first class in our case. And these are the vehicles I recommend to you. Like, for example, the proper lowest one is the EBR Hotchkiss. So if you know how to play the tank, aka know you go for damage on this vehicle, it should be very easy. Same goes for the Lynx 6x6. Same goes for the Shelma, for the Bulldog, for the Sheridan, for the EBR 90, and even the Batcha 12T. Because these are the 2 I did it in. The EBR 90 and the Batcha 12T. Because I know both tanks pretty good. And I hacking even did it on Paris in the EBR 90. Why? Because I went for damage. Obviously you can go for scouting, but the thing is, if you take, for example, the even 90, it is a tank which is very simple to play. Its entry level is sit in bush camp. It is hard for your average ADHD person to sit still and camp bush, but that's literally what it is. Sit still, camp bush. But the thing is, everybody can do that. So it is much higher when it comes to the XP this tank gets. So that is why take a Tech Tree tank and go for damage. And then you will most likely get your Mastery Badge fairly quickly. In number 11, you need to get 4000 assist damage or 150 seconds stun. So now, you might be saying, you know what, I'm amazing at scouts. I love the Manticore, I love the EBR 105. I have them at 100% gun mark. Go for it. Try it, that's fine. Or, take the easy step and play RD. Because 150 second stun is so easy. It was an FV angle and a Batchat angle. Batchat not being optimal even. You can also play 261, will definitely work, but the FVRD is a king for that mission. Really, simple as is. In mission number 12, you might notice that while the videos start, I usually showcase to you the Dravec driving out of the garage, right? And usually there is a little bit of a clip before with an EBR-75 FL-10 hiding behind a house. That is this mission, because this mission can suck my bullet. Genuinely. This mission was so annoying. Because you need to spot 6 enemy vehicles and survive. And you have to spot them at the beginning of the game. As soon as you spot them afterwards, it doesn't count. You have to be the one spotting them at the first time. So if you have 3 scouts in your team, or the enemies in green, guess what? 2 try to do that as well, or try to steal spots from you. So playing something like a passive scout, like a Manticore or an even 90, is insanely bad to do. The other option would be to stun 2 enemy vehicles with 1 shot 6 times. I wouldn't say that this is not impossible to do, but it's also very, 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 very hard when you have just the RDs I told you about. And you need a good map for that. Or the 2 T92, the GWE100, or the Conqueror gun carrier, which might not many of you have. So, yes, it is a scout mission with an EBR-105, and if you have the EBR-75 FL-10, you basically YOLO in, and then you play incredible safe, literally having like 6, 7, 8 condoms on at the same time when you go in for having sexy time, you know. That's how you have to play this mission, because you're not allowed to die, and it's so frustrating. Like, I several times had the mission, but then I died. This mission is ass. Genuinely, it is ass. Deep breaths, like guys, try to meditate, understand that it's ass, and you should be fine. Because the single worst thing is, in mission number 13, you get a freebie. Especially if you have the Czech light tanks. Why? Destroy 2 enemy vehicles with shots while moving at a speed of at least 30 kph. That is annoying. That's an RD mission, really. Or cause damage to enemy vehicles that are moving 7 times. So, roll the clips. Yes! It is that easy! It is that fucking easy, dude.
Let's make them sweat.
Hey, we did it!
Let's go hunting.
I didn't even need it to re-peek that. I literally was already done with the mission. So fucking dumb. But it's good to see that there's also some freebies, which maybe Wargaming didn't pay attention to. So you can see, literally in less than 20 seconds, in just 2 games, I did the mission. It is that simple. Load HE, auto aim, and you're done. It is that simple. In number 14, you need to get 2000 spotting assists while remaining unspotted at the moment the damage is caused, or you need to stun enemy heavy tanks for at least 80 seconds. So now, either you're doing a very slow tank, play something like the Manticore and the even 90 and hope it works out, or you take the easy way out and play the FV RD, and in my case the Batchat RD, but the 261 definitely also works. But like, the thing is, I can't really tell you anything anymore. Like, just play RD. It's that simple. It really takes away the skill of many of these missions. 80 seconds on a heavy tank with an RD which is reloading in 17 seconds. It's literally click, 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 click. 2 minutes later you have finished the mission. Sure, you can get screwed over by matchmaking giving you not a lot of heavy tanks, but like, scouts are sometimes much worse when it comes to the map. And it feels like in RD you have a lot more opportunities to do it even on bad scout maps, you know? So, just play RD. Stop worrying, just play RD. And in number 15 you need to do 6000 combined. Now, this one you could do in RD, but I feel like a 6000 combined RD game is not that easy to do. Or maybe it is when you are somebody called Dr. Nix. I would say play a scout tank you feel comfortable in, preferably tier 10 or tier 11. And I did it in the Manticore and the EBR. Funnily enough, the EBR 105 on China, or the Chinese border. It's like, what the helly? But it worked out. And these 2 are the go-to tanks. Maybe you can do it in the even 90 if you feel very comfortable in it. Maybe you can do it in a T100 LT, that also works. RHM, Panzerwagen, the Borkenkäfer, these all work as well. But this one is literally just have a decent scout game. And that is it. These are all the missions which you need to know how to do them in for the Dravec. Now the thing is, the Blackrock missions are obviously on the way. I am doing them here and there, but I will definitely not be able to finish them in the next couple of months. I will be taking a timeout for like 2 months, going somewhere. I will be informing a little bit closer when it actually happens. I try to do these missions or as much missions as possible, but I doubt I will be able to do and finish them until I am going on this well-deserved vacational route. But with that, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and to like the comments and comment the likes. No, you get what I mean. And tell me how you did the mission and if you hate me now for supporting artillery gameplay. My name is RagingRaptor. I see you around.